2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Yo, 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 what's the deal, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. By fans, for fans, and you can be a part of the show by calling in at 252-228-5098. We take your calls throughout the show, trying to get keep our ear to the ground on Panther Nation. We got a lot to be excited about tonight in the calls. I have heard some sneak peeks. It's going to be fantastic. Going to break it down with my homeboys here in the house. Cody Lashney, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Another Tuesday night where we figure out what the hell we're going to talk about. Trying to keep this a Panthers podcast, man, but I'm excited to do it with my homeboys. Happy to be here. Chat room isn't so popping yet, but we've had some stream trouble. Shout out to Mike Vella, who I know is going to be dropping some bars tonight in the cat calls. 10 Tizzy, Trill 1, Tony Dunn, and nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
Tell your friends about the show. You can follow us on Twitter at cat_chronicles. Go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the show. We're on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, all the major podcast platforms, and we want to keep growing. Longest running in our 8th season right now, 52 weeks a year plus the leap year, and we've got who's in the house tonight? Greg in the house tonight, and welcome the Bat Daddy.
Oh, I am here tonight, man. I've been in Hilton Head all weekend. Finally got back. Just been putting up a shed all week. Ready to talk some Panthers football now, though.
CK's in the house too. He's been streaming on Facebook, and it sounds like it's going good.
Yeah, it's going well. We're growing and we're making it work. This past weekend was me not building the shed, but building my son a playground. So that's been fun.
Nice.
So I'm not an envious person of the work you've been putting in over there, Greg. I'll be honest with you. I hated every minute of my moments out in the sun. So
it's been pretty damn hot too in the last week and a half.
Oh gosh, it's been miserable with no cloud cover whatsoever. So I'm just sitting out there with a bald head. By the way, I would say I'd wear a hat out there, but my hat just gets soaking wet within a matter of like 30 minutes, and so I just cannot stand a wet hat on my head. So,
all right.
Anyway.
You guys know the deal. We appreciate your support in the chat room. Guys, is there any Panthers news to talk about this? Is like if you go to the Panthers website right now, there is a story called Get to Know Brian Angelico. Who the heck is Brian Angelico? And a recruiter? There's nothing here to talk about, and I'm pretty happy that we're not talking about any Panther players with COVID.
Yeah. Well, yet I think Ezekiel Elliott may have fixed that when he said HIPAA ?
Oh yeah. Oh, good point.
So,
But it is. We
you always
do
wonder
have
about that.
injury reports though.
Yeah, and that's what I wonder about. Like, I mean, I can maybe understand with injury reports, maybe, but like sicknesses like that, I can full on, like, say, unless they've given written consent of some sort, I don't know how they can release that information. I mean, honestly, the injuries make me wonder how they can release that, but I'm assuming that has something to do with their contract and that work.
And the league rules. Yeah, I bet you somebody could ultimately sue from that. Does anybody else have any news related to the actual Carolina Panthers?
I think
Not
they're on
really,
vacation this week, man.
Unless you want to talk about Teddy Bridgewater talking shit on Twitter.
Yes, and actually, thank you.
A little bit spicy.
Thank you for reminding me that, because the name of tonight's show is Teddy Claus Back. Right? And so, please tell me, Cody, break it down for us what happened, because from what I saw, and I just saw another tweet that said, somebody said it's going to be a long season if Teddy already protecting his tweets.
Yeah, and the most recent update was that he set his account to private. So he's already so listen, this is kind of the genesis of what happened, man. Teddy Bridgewater put out a tweet of him walking in the hospital after his knee injury that happened with Minnesota. And he's like, if you think I came back or that I came all the way back from this just to lay down, it pretty much said, y'all got the wrong fucking idea. And he's trying to ball out. And I had a moment where I'm like, you know what? I understand it must be a shitty position where, you're trying to reinvigorate your career and you walk into a football team where the team just got rid of their beloved quarterback and now all the fans are mad. So, it's not an enviable position. But one of the things that you don't do is indulge trolls on Twitter. And apparently Teddy Bridgewater got wind of all the shit that Panther fans have been talking about him.
How can you not?
He was not too happy about it. Yeah, how could you not? And but he wasn't going off at people on Twitter. Really like firing back at people, man. It was like he was trending on Twitter.
Because a lot of people were saying that he made a tweet that he meant to come from a burner account.
Yeah, he made one like somebody had said something, and then he was like, "Oh, that's some female shit right there." Some people are like, "Oh, y'all came down on Cam Newton for being misogynist. Now look at this fucking dude." But there was a few of them. I'd have to like find a few and pull them up right quick.
Well,
but,
at least there's some fire in him, I guess. But he shouldn't protected his account. I don't think that is, and he shouldn't really. To be honest, it's kind of hard to engage with fans on Twitter, and I know I want them to all engage with me, but Cam never tweeted me back.
Well, it's one of those things where if you're going to be in a position like this, you've got to realize that there are going to be people who don't like you, and your best thing you can do is prove that you give them a reason to like you. But Twitter's not the place to engage with. It's different when somebody on Twitter says something to you and when somebody in real life says something to you. Because I guarantee you, half the stuff I see people say to me or other people on Twitter, there's no way in hell they would say that to that person's face or me in real life. It's easy to be a keyboard warrior, so why even acknowledge it? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I hear you. I'm usually the guy fighting with the people.
Yeah.
But what do we feel, though, about Teddy Bridgewater? Essentially standing up for himself. Like, hey, man, I'm not a bag of dirt. I'm coming here. If anything, look, I kind of like that it pissed him off a little bit, because if the Panthers are going to have any chance of being a good football team this year, it all relies on Teddy Bridgewater. So good. I hope it comes in here with a fuck you mentality.
Yeah.
I hope you don't believe in me. Let me show you wrong. Really, what other option does he have right now? He's like I said, a part of a football team that just watched their quarterback go to the Patriots of all teams, and now he's our dude. He came from a division rival. He has a lot of trust to earn. So I'm happy that he got a little upset and in his emotions. I think it'll be a good thing for him.
I'm happy that he's upset about it because it is going to give him some fire, but it's kind of like goes back to what we talked about last week. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you're going to do type deal. You know, like if you don't blast back at these guys, just show me you're going to come back and be the best quarterback you've been and have a great year. I don't want to hear you talk about it or argue with somebody about it. You know?
Dude,
hold on.
What a statement in our YouTube chat.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Hold on.
My Lord.
Hold on. Good God.
James Woodley with $100 love bomb.
Was that an accident? Do you think you put an extra 0 by accident? Are you going to have to refund them that money?
I support Teddy Bridgewater. Our quarterback, point blank, enough said. By James Woodley.
Talk about a legend.
All
in
right,
the chat room.
James.
I don't even know what to say other than thank you, homie. Good.
I'm worried that he accidentally hit an extra 0.
He just bought one of us a Teddy Bridgewater jersey as if we didn't have to give 20% to YouTube or whatever, or 5%. No, it's probably only like 3% or something like that. But geez, holy moly, thank you, man. There's still the world is still a good place. Well, I guess it's too good, homie. You the man. The name of this show is James Woodley's Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicle.com. The Teddy Bridgewater Love Fest, brought to you by James Woodley. No, there is a kind of interesting story from Panthers Culture. You guys, he's pretty popular on Twitter. Panthers Culture has a blog, and he put out a story today that said Teddy Bridgewater's not so obvious comparison, and it's a very good story. He goes through all these things, and then guess who the comparison is to? Drew Brees. And the idea of somebody that's had to fight injuries, that had to fight people doubting him, that he had the physical talent to do it, that he wasn't tall enough, that his hands were too small, that he didn't have the arm strength, all of these different things. And he goes on to say that that is reminiscent of Drew Brees when he was in San Diego. And then it's fortuitous that they become teammates in New Orleans. And I think that's a cool little take right there. And thank you, Panthers Culture, for that, because we needed something that had something different that wasn't whining.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is Teddy Bridgewater the next Drew Brees?
I mean, that's such a tough one, man. It's just, when you're comparing someone to a record holder and now an NFL, a surefire Hall of Famer. I mean, it's tough, but I see why you would make the comparison. They're timing and rhythm quarterbacks. They're all about getting the football out of their hand, being on time, taking care of the football. It's not necessarily wild plays, but yeah, I mean, I think Teddy Bridgewater 100% can operate an offense. And, I feel like part of my criticism has been kind of, it's not that I'm not down with Teddy Bridgewater. I do think he's a good quarterback. I just don't know if I believe in our offensive line enough. So, but as far as Teddy Bridgewater himself.
Teddy Bridgewater is like one of the least questionable parts of our team, to be honest.
And,
and that's kind of crazy.
And once you put him in the system, like what I believe Joe Brady is going to implement, you finally have some fast separating wide receivers. I mean, I understand why a lot of people are like, well, the Panthers might be a sleeper team this year. And, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think that's going to be the problem.
Demetrius Miller in the chat room says Teddy's comp is Alex Smith when he was with the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's not bad either.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
I kind of preferred that one more than Drew Brees.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I think we all agree on this. He's not a bad quarterback, and there's a lot of other quarterbacks that are out there that I'd rather have Teddy Bridgewater than X said quarterback. I think it's just the initial blow of losing Cam. I'd rather have Cam than Teddy Bridgewater, and it's nothing against Teddy Bridgewater. Just a matter of we love Cam,
Holy moly! The guys are feeling it in the chat room. It's snowballing. Mike Vella in the house. I ain't balling like James, but I guarantee once you hear my rap, you'll remember my name. $50 love bomb. I do want to go back to, and we won't talk about it. Let's just go ahead and move into the cat calls. But a lot of us were calling for Teddy to be the backup last year. Or the year before. For me, I was calling for him to back up Cam Newton with the idea if Cam Newton goes down that he's a reasonable option to be a good starter. So now that we don't have Cam, I don't dislike Teddy, right? In fact, I'm happy.
There was North Turner too. Remember, he played for North Turner.
Yeah. So I'm fine with Teddy. Teddy, I have no problem with. We're just still kind of missing Cam. We'll talk about that as we've got more developments about Cam's contract. But as everybody's feeling the funk in the chat room, let's go ahead and get into the cat calls. And let me make sure the sound's up because we need to hear it perfectly tonight. The number's 252-228-5098. You can be a part of the C3 Panthers podcast. Call in at any time, any night, and we'll get you on the show.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty you shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like...
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his notebook? Who's that kid that can use one?
What up? It's your boy Mike, straight from Texas, man. What up, C3 Panther Podcast? I'm about to do this for y'all. Spit some bars real quick.
Oh, shit.
Allow me
do it big, Mike.
Myself. The name's Mr. Mike, and you know I'm coming for the bell. I'm at your neck to all the fake fans that Twitter has dealt, leaving Cam in the dark all because of his health. Shame on y'all. This man doesn't even care about the wealth. After all he has given y'all, you can give a fuck about how he felt. Well, now this is a different season, and some of y'all need to be held up for treason. And now he is leaving to a place that he's believing that Lombardies are easy to achieve in, which is New England. Ace Boogie was straight Boston and flossing, and now you think injuries are gonna cost him? The shit talking comes often, and will end the moment this man goes to the playoffs in Boston, while the Panthers go golfing. Because I'll be damned if I have to deal with another Jimmy Clausen. I will eat up and feed like food in a packed fridge that I slaughter. Panther fans are quick to jump ship, but dead at Bridgewater. But they forget who is the shit pulling out the tricks and the magic like Harry Potter. Ain't no quarterback was harder, just ask his alma mater. Hold up, let me dab real quick for the man with the gift that gave a football to your son or your daughter. Like a fish out of water, it's a wait and see before I believe. I'm not holding my breath because I will be the one to breathe that the Panthers' death will be resurrected. It will be because of CMC. Let's all pray that the change will be the answer, because so far to me the front office decisions are a cancer. I'm out of sight, but I make up for it with my sense like Joey the Blind Panther. But if we can get this right, we can make a comeback like Newton every time that he transfers. I advise you to stay a safe distance and protect your surroundings. Raise your fist in the air. You could cuss or swear. I don't care. Just keep pounding. There you go, guys. Hey, tell me how that went. But for now, I got to go.
My man. My man.
All right. So here's what we need to do.
Mike holding it down.
Here's what we need to do. We need to get somebody to create a beat for that, and then let's make that a legit song.
Yeah.
Dude, play it again and play it again. And CK, you just do a beatbox in the background of it, man. That's the way to do it.
I got the plane.
The way he did
it
was like a lot more like spoken word. And so if he has a beat and he can do it based on that beat, I think it would actually work really well.
It sounded like he had that Chronic 2000 beat in the background keeping time.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Dude,
hey, man.
Mike,
hey, man.
they will remember your name. Tyler Lovato says that's bars right there.
Oh,
my man.
Rap battle going on in the cat call, son. What's up?
Joey Esquivel is going nuts, man. My man is jumping up and down. Gosh, good job, guys. Good job.
Fire, man.
I know he followed it up with a call, so let's see what he had to say in his call.
What up, C3 Panthers Podcast? It's Mike again. Just want to talk about this upcoming season. I just got a couple of questions for y'all, and I want to know what your opinions are on how our depth will play out for the defense, especially at linebacker. Who do you think will be some surprise starters? Or if you believe we can still sign any free agents to add to the competition at linebacker? Do you feel some of the undrafted free agents will make the cut? If there is one realistic signing to improve us on the defensive side of the ball, who would you guys want? I would love for the Panthers to bring in a veteran tight end to battle with Ian Thomas. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got for you guys.
What's
you
up?
guys
You
out
know
there,
what I like
hope
about
you
that
enjoyed
call?
your 4th of July. You do an amazing job with this podcast, and I will definitely be calling again. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you,
Appreciate
man.
You know what I love
brother.
about that call? Hey, he came prepared. Like you could tell he had written that down. He wanted to make sure he got his questions out the way he wanted them to be, gotten out. A lot of times, I don't know if you guys ever called a radio show. A lot of times you'll have it in the back of your mind what you want to say, and you get there and you're
And you
ready to ask
get
the question,
nervous.
you're
Yeah, your mind starts
like-
scattering.
Oh man. Well, just tell me what you think about the Panthers. All right.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's start off with this tight end depth. All right, is that right now the Panthers have lost Luke Kuechly, right? We don't have the names back there we're accustomed to. I think Jermaine Carter, we had a lot of hope for him the year before, right? We're probably going to need to see him produce. Who else is a tight end linebacker on this squad? Jordan Kunzik. I don't know he is going to do anything. He has some ties. Yeah, he has some ties to the team, to the coaching staff. What about, didn't we sign somebody from Oakland too? I think that we're counting on him a lot. And that is, hold on.
Whitehead, right?
Whitehead. I think, Tahir Whitehead is got to be the answer. And the question is, are we going to be running, if that's our linebacker depth, right? Let me see if I could see, is that we have Jermaine Carter, Jordan Ferris, and if you look at this dude's picture on the website, it looks like Joe Dirt. Literally, it looks like Joe Dirt. Maybe I can get it while you guys talk.
I mean, having Shat Thompson.
What about who's Jordan Mack?
Who?
Jordan Mack, Maryland, 6'3", 240, 22
My
years
answer
old.
should let you know what I think.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
David Reese, never heard of him.
I mean, he can't be good. Well, who are left of free agents linebackers?
Oh,
I think
Andre
we're looking at
Smith.
free agent.
Andre Smith, I feel like he's played for us before in the past.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at a list of free agent linebackers that are left, and I don't know how recent this list is because it doesn't give me a date on it, but it looks like top 3 I can see is Joe Scobert. Kyle
He's
Van
already
Noy,
been signed. He's been signed.
That's what I thought. I thought he got signed by the Browns.
Yeah.
So this list may be old, but I don't know why I can't find an updated list of free agents. But for some reason, that's what I wanted to begin with.
I want to know if that suggests that we're going to. What does that suggest about our defensive scheme? Right? And that is that are we going to run?
It does look like Joe Dirt, dude. What the hell? Yo, who is that
Let me
dude?
get the picture
I've
so
never
I can
heard of
put
this
it
guy
up.
in my life.
Now I got to see. What was his name?
I'm putting it.
Jason Ferris. Dude, it's actually hilarious. Like,
I got
I'm
it.
into
I'm
it.
pulling up. You guys
I'm a
talk
fan
while
of
I
his.
pull it up. I'm a fan of his already.
Yeah, just because he looks that way. I'm
What's
a
his
fan
last
of
name
his.
again?
Say
What's
it
his
again?
last name? Oh, there it is. Ferris.
Let's see. Ferris, Carolina Panthers.
I mean, man, look, here's the God
wow.
honest truth. Yeah. Tahir Whitehead's going to have to step up. Shat Thompson. And really, a lot of it comes down to how much do you believe in Jermaine Carter and Andre Smith. Another thing to consider is I saw it put somewhere that they're thinking about using Christian Miller as more of a Sam linebacker type instead of a rushing off the edge style linebacker. And, I feel that could be a benefit for him as well. We haven't seen him do that quite as much, but we really don't have a lot of name depth. I mean, Tahir Whitehead, Shat Thompson, Andre Smith, Brian Burns, but a few of those guys.
The other
their
guy,
primary
the
job
Jermaine
is
Carter.
pass
It's going to
rush.
be Jermaine Carter. It's going to be it goes Shaq, then it goes Whitehead, then it goes Jermaine Carter. And then after that, we really are all unproven guys, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, there's no real names.
Ferris is 6'2", 220. I'm trying to see if I can pull the stats anywhere. See if who did he play for?
This
It
was
was
great. This picture is like unbelievable, dude.
Montana Western was who he played for.
What is that?
Team. I have no idea. Somebody in West Montana, I assume, but I don't know anything about it.
Let me see if I got it. Let me see, folks. This is for your viewing. Had to pick this up on the fly. He is a surprise.
I can do it if you want to.
I got
let me talk for a minute.
Yeah, you talk. Oh,
Dirte. Joe Dirte.
This guy is special, man.
Is that there, Joe Dirte?
Put it up one more time. There it is.
I got him up. I got him up there.
Yeah. This guy is special. Holy mow. Okay. So linebacker, the thing is that we're also could be very well in a 3-4, and while that implies you need to be strong at linebacker, you actually only need 2 good ones.
Why though? If you're emphasizing the linebacker position, having more linebackers than defensive,
because they're really defensive ends that you call linebackers. Right, so they're playing hand up, they're dropping back a little bit, but that's what you could be doing with a Brian Burns and a
Toast.
Yeah, or no.
Have any of you seen the clips of Brian Burns like working out, dropping back into coverage?
Yeah, where he one-handed intercepted it or caught it or something.
Dude, homeboy's got some fluid hips. Let me tell you, man. I mean, he can turn and get out. And I remember him doing that at the combine too. I mean, the dude is agile. That we're really hoping that agility plays a big part of our defense this year. And I think that's kind of the trend, right? If you look at what Matt Rule and Marty Herney drafted in the draft, it's a lot of athletic football players. They're fast, they're big, they're strong. It's that positionless kind of player that it seems like Matt Rule is trying to covet. So I don't doubt it that they want players to be able to do a bunch of different things. Someone in the chat room earlier mentioned Justin Burris might be able to drop down to a linebacker position too. So everyone's going to kind of have to step up in their role after you lose someone like Luke.
The highest rank available linebacker right now in free agency is Nigel Bradham, according to NFL Trade Rumors, who played with Philadelphia. He's 30 years old. After that, there is nobody in the top 50. Let's go on to the 50 through 100. Let's see. Linebacker Alec Ogletree.
Still, he's a little old, though, isn't he?
Only it says 28. That surprises me. I feel like he's older than that. He's been very good for the Giants.
Yeah.
Linebackers are pretty thin, man. Right now, that's it. Those are all the linebackers. Now, the other question was, what would be the defensive add to the squad that would help you the best, right? I mean, and obviously it's Jadeveon Clowney, but that's not going to happen. When it comes to just any position, is Eric Reed still a free agent? Look at that.
I believe so.
Him up, though.
No, I know we're not, but it's just, I think the names that a lot of people like are Logan Ryan. He played cornerback for Tennessee. He's 29. Everson Griffin. We already got another guy that we're rolling with that we think has been stuck behind Everson Griffin. He's 32. He plays edge. Josh Gordon's out there. That's offense. Other than that, let's see. Are there any other cornerbacks? Tremont Williams, 37 years old for Green Bay. We don't need none of that. Tremaine Brock, don't know who he is. This can't be right. Is Ezekiel Ansah a free agent? This list cannot be right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm having a hard time finding an update.
It says July 4th, 2020.
Yeah, but 2020, we're halfway through 2020.
But it says July 4th is the post.
Oh, I thought you said live 2020. Okay, July 4th. Oh, maybe then. This is April 3rd, 2020.
Oh, Travis Armstrong brings up a good point. I like this, as I've been meaning to talk about this. Njoku for the Cleveland Browns has requested a trade. He
that would
has
be
been a
interesting.
very effective tight end throughout his career. He's still only going into his third season, I believe, and he has requested.
What's the reason?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why would he request a trade?
Is it because of Brait? Wasn't it Brait that went up there?
Yeah, but I don't think I think he could outplay Brait. To be truly honest with you, he was
Well,
a
they
prospect coming
traded
out of
for him,
college.
though, I think.
It almost
Well, they
you got to
gave-
wonder what Stefanski's offense wants to look like. You know,
They gave him
How
a very
about-
good contract.
Chris Manhurst is still a player on our football team.
he's a good multi-tool player, man.
Yeah,
think
but
he's-
dude, isn't Thomas ever gonna get his opportunity? Like that's what I'm
Yes,
thinking.
yes. I mean, he's got to have it this year. He's our starting tight end. We don't have anybody
I mean-
else, do we?
I just I don't know.
Is
It
Austin
seems
Hooper
like-
available? Sorry,
No, Hooper
I'm
went
not
to
sure.
Cleveland. That's who it
Okay.
was, right?
that
Hooper
might
went
be
to Cleveland.
that might be why he.
Oh
wanted-
yeah,
I
the
can
Atlanta
see
guy
that
got the
probably
big
why.
trap. Yeah.
Okay.
We could use a
But how
young
much
player
does
like
another
Njoku.
tight end- How much does another tight end help this football team right now, realistically?
A lot.
Well, how
think-
big did Greg Olson? How big was he when he was here? If you can get a star tight end, how big was he?
Yeah,
Well,
but
I
he
think
was
those are two
also the
different
best
offenses.
receiving threat too.
Yeah, we didn't have
now-
a Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. We didn't have an actual.
DJ Moore.
But man, with
Look at all the teams that were good this year. They had fantastic tight ends.
one of the
I
best
mean-
Panthers offenses was Jeremy Shockey and Greg Olson together.
Greg Olson. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I think a
if you
good
don't
one-two
have
punch tight end.
any size at wide receiver, you got to have some ability at tight end. And here's the other thing too, is that even if we don't even need a star tight end. Is what happens if Ian Thomas doesn't? He just gets hurt. What do you do?
Let me ask you, what's a level you want out of your tight end position? Like, what satisfies you? Would 750 yards?
Oh
5
hell
touchdowns,
yeah, hell yeah!
And you
We
know,
want. I
start
would
50
be happy that with damn Robbie Anderson got 750 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be disappointed if we were giving up draft or trade capital at this point. I mean, listen, I would love to have a player like Njoku for long term, but that's another thing you have to
If
consider.
you give
Njoku
a fourth, come on, what's a fourth really matter?
I would.
Yeah,
give-
but is he going to go for a fourth? Like now, so remember, he's the one demanding the trade. It's not the Browns. So that means the Browns pretty much all they have to do is sit back and, inflate the offer for as much as possible.
But if you don't,
I don't
if you don't
think
want
they're
him
gonna
to really be a huge part of the system, and then he's becoming a problem, right?
Yeah.
Tyler Lovato says if he has a 1 year left on his rookie, he'd give up a 6. He has 2 years, so he'd give up a 5th. I feel like he was a first round pick, man.
He
I don't
was.
know.
Yeah, he was a first round pick. That was one of those years where the Browns had 3 first round picks. I think it was their final pick. I think.
Okay.
I mean, he is a badass, man. There's no doubt about that.
He's very good.
What was the last part
Yeah.
of Mike's question? I felt like there were 3 parts. We did.
We should have written him down like he was so
Yeah,
prepared.
like
We
he
should have written
did.
him down.
We
Well, I
did.
know one thing, man. Tyler
did-
Lovato has an answer to Mr. Mike's rap battle.
right.
Yeah, our previous champion deserves to defend his throne.
All right. Well, let's keep going through with the calls. Numbers 252-228-5098.
Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Charleston, South Carolina.
What's up, Kevin?
Me and my friend were talking. We're talking about the Star Wars trilogy from Disney, and we're also talking
Yep.
about Kelvin Benjamin.
It's the off season.
And we're thinking out loud to each other, what was a bigger disappointment? They both were around for around the same time. I said the Star Wars trilogy. He said Kelvin Benjamin. What's your guys' thought?
Oh, Kelvin Benjamin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
Kelvin
dude.
Benjamin, yep.
There were at least some high points to the Disney Star Wars trilogy.
Is that 1, 2, and 3? Is that like the 1, 2, and 3 Jar Jar Binks?
No, I think he's talking about 7, 8, and 9, the ones that just recently came out. That's the Disney Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
The newest ones, Rise of Skywalker, and I can't remember all of the names.
Where it looks like Peele from Key and Peele, or one of those looks like one of the main guys in one, like the black guy that's.
No, let's just assume that he's talking about the prequels, because Kelvin Benjamin is that irrelevant at this point in time.
And how about this, man? Kelvin Benjamin was a curse to the Carolina Panthers, and we just now got done with that curse.
Not even in the NFL, I bet. Is he even in the NFL?
Remember that the shoulder injury from Cam Newton came because Kelvin Benjamin was too lazy to go get a football in the end zone. Didn't do anything when the corner took it all the way to the house. Cam Newton had to run him down, make the tackle, and that's when he hurt his shoulder. And that's what has produced the past 3 or 4 years of disappointment for the Panthers.
What did you think about Jordan Rodriguez firing shots as she leaves North Carolina?
Respect, man. Respect to Jordan.
That's so easy.
Respect.
So easy.
What'd she do?
Look, how many other people are qualified to say that as she is?
I am.
Did she say that about Kelvin?
No, yes,
no, not about Kelvin.
Yes, she did. She went. So it went down the list. And it said that it's easy to say that Cam Newton has had injury problems, but if you've been here and you've seen that they haven't given them shit for an offensive line. She started talking about the Panthers like we talk about the Panthers. Why? Because her ass left North Carolina and isn't covering the team anymore. But then she went on this like whole defend Cam all over, calling Kelvin Benjamin out for getting hurt, like being the reason that this all has basically the same crap us Panther fans and all Panther fans have been saying for years. And then there were some people that have been holding on to some hate for Jordan. And I like Jordan. You know, she's a young writer trying to make her, has been making her way in Carolina's an important part of her career. But people are like, this coming from the lady that had him on CNN talking about routes.
I mean, look, man, if you judge her by her work and what she did when she was with the Observer, she was fine. She wrote poignant articles. I mean, she was well sourced. And people are mad because of the whole rounds bullshit, man. It's like, dude, I'm so past that. It's like, whatever, man.
I'm trying to figure out if her coming out with that thread is how she truly felt the whole time. Because she wasn't here for a lot of it. That's the other thing. Is she just heard Panther fans whining about Byron Bell, Michael Orr. She wasn't here for any of those years. She got here at Matt Khalil time. Right, and it had been a long time before that the line was shitty, right? So I'm just trying to figure out, is she saying what she truly believed, or is this her farewell to Panther fans and she's just like catering to what we all like to hear?
Maybe a little both.
I don't think she has anything to cater to. I mean, honestly, if she's going to LA, she's going to a bigger market.
But you want to bring those, you want to keep all those followers with you. You want to keep those ties.
No, she's going over to LA, she's going to probably triple her followers.
No, they won't. They don't even have fans for the Rams, dude.
No, but you got to think they still have St. Louis fans that were fans of them when they were in St. Louis that are still going to be diehard fans of the team, even though they left. And then LA is going to adopt them as the team because they're the only ones that have had success in the over there. I mean, the Chargers had one good year, but the Rams have had decent years since they've been there.
I tell you, this is about to make us. All right, hold on. Let's see. You're about to feel crazy here, or one of us is. So, how many Twitter followers do the Panthers have? Let's see.
No idea.
Let me find you, Carolina Panthers.
Did
Carolina Panthers? Oh my! That's not the right person. I was like, gosh, that cannot be right. At Panthers. Go ahead,
Joey. Did Joey say that the Blind
They
Panther
have 3 million followers.
The Panthers have 3 million followers. The Los Angeles Rams, is this the right account, the official account of the Los Angeles Rams? Oh, Rams in Espanol? No. At Rams NFL. Tell me if that's the real account.
No, that is the real account with 907,000.
They have 907,000 followers on Twitter. How is that even possible? They have like 20 million people in LA.
That is kind of odd.
Yeah.
We just have a better fan base.
But
That's embarrassing,
They're
dude.
new. I mean, these teams,
No, they're
do
not.
not
I don't even
belong.
want to
They're not
hear
upset.
that. They should be able to get 1 million followers in a weekend if you're in LA. Like your first weekend.
The Panthers,
People
to be
don't-
fair, the Panthers have always dominated Twitter. Period. Like the Panthers
they're
social
ready
media.
Twitter.
That is true. That's why we always are usually in
We're
whatever
always winning the
competition for
Walter
voting.
Payton Manning of the Year competitions. We're always winning any of those brackets about what's the best, play. And if it's a Panthers play, it always ends up getting at least close to the finals. There are going to be some teams that are well above us that have a much larger legacy than our team does. But
Why is it so hard to find the official pages of these teams?
You also got to think about it too. It's also just Twitter.
Yeah.
Although we do a lot of stuff on Twitter. Like I was talking with my nieces and nephews who one's 18 and 16 this weekend, and they were like, Twitter. They were like, who uses Twitter anymore? And I was like, well, okay.
The Falcons have 2.3 million followers. Let's pick another team. You want to try the Bears? Pick a team.
Go to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Ooh.
go Chiefs.
What about this? Do you think the Buccaneers have more than the Rams?
Yeah, I do.
What? That is insanity.
No,
Like-
I think they do, and I think they had an influx of followers.
No, they only have 849,000 followers. The Panthers'
that's
Twitter
insane.
is pretty dang good. Let's see what the
it's-
Giants
they're-
are. How about this? Another big market.
What is it?
Let's see.
Do
Dallas.
Philly.
Or Dallas.
Do Philly.
Big market.
Yeah.
All right, New York Giants on Twitter have 1.8 million followers. That's it. Gosh, maybe we have a better fan base than we give ourselves credit for.
We have a better social media fan base for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without question.
Like
I think
outside
we
of that, games, you're not seeing a better fan base, right?
That's
You
why
go to
the whole
Panthers
Cam
game.
Newton tweet.
The
was so
Eagles have
weird.
3.4 million followers.
Okay.
That's not
What?
too much more than us.
What about Dallas?
Ooh, I bet you theirs is crazy. I bet you theirs is like 5 million. It's my guess. Dallas Cowboys.
I'm interested in the Seahawks.
Y'all can help.
Yeah, I am.
Just kidding.
What do you think?
I'm sitting here typing as fast
Yeah.
as... Oh, man. The Cowboys only have 3.9 million.
I mean, that's still more than us, but
It is.
Seahawks have 2.4.
How many do you think? All right, hold on. Without looking it up, how many do you think the Patriots have?
Ooh.
4 million.
maybe. Hey, Joey the Blind Panther says, what do the Panthers and the Rams have in common? They both ate a big L in the Super Bowl. The Panthers didn't eat as nearly as big of an L as the Rams did. We scored more than 3 points at least. I mean, that's not even
True
close
that.
compared.
True that.
The Patriots do have 4.5 million.
Ooh.
4.5 million. That's a hefty.
I would say
Is
this.
there anyone more than that?
If you're the LA Rams, I feel like you should hire us and we could get your Twitter account like doubled, bro.
For sure.
I mean, that's pathetic. That shows you how irrelevant they are in LA. And that's why I'm saying, what were we talking about? Oh, so she's not going to have more followers.
No,
Maybe
but
not.
overall, I'm not. Listen, Cam Newton was in the news, and he had just gone to the Patriots, and Cam Newton has a ton of detractors. People are going to throw out his completion percentage and all this other bullshit that we hear about Cam Newton. But I feel like, to Jordan's credit, she's heard a lot of the gripes from the fan base, and then got to see it herself, and then got to, see that, oh, well, there is some point behind this. Cam Newton does have traditionally a bad offensive line. Cam Newton is having to throw to a bunch of, third stringers in the playoffs in New Orleans. I mean, there's a ton of that. And like I said, no one has the credentials like Jordan to be able to make that kind of statement after she followed the team for so long.
The Kansas City Chiefs have 1.5 million followers. I'm proud of the Carolinas representing Panther Nation.
The Steelers have more. They have 3.5.
And we all know, Sarah, that the Pats, 1 million of those have to be Russian bots.
Good chance.
I promise you.
That's
All right.
funny right there.
252-228-5098. Next call.
What's up, C3? It's Run DMC Lovato.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if
Here
I'm
we
going to have
go.
enough time, so let's get it started. Bat Daddy, I'm sorry to say, but Star Wars is gay, just like your Barney made out of clay. He sent
Oh my gosh.
wanted his mail. Once he pulled out a bat, you called the cops because you're a glass jaw rat. Cody Lashney has a beard so he can hide his acne. Twitter wars all day at me. Cam Newton isn't the GOAT, it's Steve Smith. Remember when he was rowing the boat? Please don't lose your temper. I know you don't remember, because back then you weren't a fan. Also, Cody, I smashed your girl, Caroline Cam. I called you all day. Poor family's crying, saying, I don't know how I'm going to pay. He says, I don't care, because life ain't fair. And don't you dare be late, or you're going to hate what happens next when I garnish your checks. I'm taking Cody to class, so take a seat. Open your books and take out a sheet. I'm giving you detention. Meet me after class, because you can't unmute your mic to save your own ass. Because your hair looks like an aging weave. But all jokes aside, I love the stream, and I hope I didn't hurt anyone's self-esteem. I suck C3.
Wow.
Did I escape that unscathed?
Did he say my hair looked like a weave? Hold on. I hope that's what he said, because then I'm...
What's up, C, for anyone's self-esteem.
Hold on.
And I hope I didn't hurt anyone's aging weave. Riolano even had to leave.
Oh.
Because your hair looks like an aging weave.
Joey Riolano. He brought in Joe. Good for him. What did they... That was a roast rap.
Did he say anything about me?
No.
I said you were the one garnishing people's checks.
Oh.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, bro.
I lost it with my man saying smash Carolyn Can. Well done, Tyler. Well done. Oh, next call. The number's 252-228-5098.
Hi guys, Rich in the UK.
What's up, Rich?
Enough opinion pieces. So I thought I'd do some work for you today. So I looked through a few of the new guys. There you go. This is something to talk about. I've got it there. I'm in my garden with a sheet of paper. Omar Bayless is a UDFA we picked up out of Arkansas State, and he's their all-time leading receiver. So look for him in pre-season if there is one, or at the start of the season to make the roster. Justin Burris, 6 foot 210.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be important.
59.4 PFF grade, which is way above. I looked at Eric Reed. Eric Reed was down at 45.6 last year PFF grade. All right, I know it's not the be-all and end-all, but it gives you some idea. Eric was great tackling last year, and I love the guy. And I'm kind of glad that all his stuff's coming to fruition. But in coverage, it was a disaster. So Burris,
true.
He was a 4th-round pick by the Jets out of NC State. TJ Green, that's another name to remember. We picked him up late last year. He was, I'm sure Cody knows who he is. He was out of Clemson, a 2nd-rounder, but bounced around. But he was in Indianapolis, and they moved him to corner. So TJ Green, 6'3", 215. Watch for him being tested at corner at some point. He's done it before, and he's done it in the NFL with Indianapolis. Could be quite interesting. Seth Roberts, UDFA, was picked up 6'2", 195. He had a 63.5 grade at Baltimore, which isn't too bad. So, so there's your slightly bigger receiver. Could well make it. I'm just having a look through here. Other guys. Tahir Whitehead, 108 tackles last year, 55.2 PFF grade. That's not that great. Had a lot of tackles. He's always had a lot of tackles, but he's 30 years old. More interesting on the offensive line. So we've got the 2 guys that we kind of miss out on, the guards, Michael Schofield, John Miller.
Michael Schofield had a grade last year, 63.6, which was basically the same as Trey Turner. And
That was a
Greg Bummer.
breakout season.
So there's barely any downgrade or anything there, so he'll be okay. John Miller had a slightly lower grade at 58.6 in Cincinnati, but Cincinnati was a disaster. He was a previous third rounder. He's 6'3", 315. And Stephen Weatherly only had a 50.2 grade last year, 18 tackles, 4 sacks. So not brilliant, but he's a big lad. And finally, I've got 15 seconds. I'll tell you what, Kenny Robinson, 6'2", 200. He was our 5th round pick, could be good. No, my new man crush, Bravion Roy, 6'1", 330 pounds. Baylor defensive tackle, took in the 7th round. That's the new Carl Love for me.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, guys, enjoy.
Way to go. Thank you, Rich, for doing your homework. Like the
he mentioned a lot of good sleeper talent that could pop up.
We brought Justin Burris in to contribute. Like, we brought him to be a starter, right, into this system. You've got, I think that you are saying this.
Where do you think? Because I keep on hearing Justin Burris, but like we drafted Chin, and now we have Eli Apple. Now we have Dante Jackson.
I think they're going to try to play Chin at a more kind of versatile, potentially, and a linebacker safety corner type role, maybe. But I wonder too, is just because we always feel like all draft picks should start. And maybe this team is going to be different, where they just throw the kids into the fire and say they're going to have to learn the hard way. But they went and signed that guy because, and he's not old, he's got experience. I wouldn't be surprised if him and Trey Boston are starting in the backfield on day one.
So can I also bring up this? I don't particularly know a lot about any of those. I mean, I know TJ Green, he went to Clemson. But the reason why all those names are more important now more than ever, one, we don't know what the official number is going to be of the amount of people that they're allowed to have on the roster because of all this corona shit going on, and the fact that we're probably not going to have much of a preseason. So the amount of time that you had to evaluate your young talent, you're not really going to have that anymore. So maybe you do have to depend on guys that are more journeymen, that have kind of been around the block, kind of bounced around, because they're ready to come in and play right now. They're not necessarily learning on the fly. They're not going to have the benefit of the preseason to go over those things. So I feel like that's why a lot of these dudes are more important than they ever have been, even though we don't know who the hell they are.
Well, Justin Burris
is Ron Rivera's wet dream.
Yeah, Justin Burris Justin Burris is only 26 years old. So he's only played for the Cleveland Browns and played very little. He hasn't had a lot of experience in some ways, but he has had NFL experience. I think the name on the list that we're all hoping is going to be the Mario Addison replacement is Stephen Weatherly.
Yeah, but Weatherly's one of those guys too where he's just never really done it in the pros, has he? I mean, he was in Minnesota, right?
Again, you're talking about a kid. He's 26 years old, so he's only been in the league for 2 years, and he was behind, some players that are all-pro players, some Pro Bowl players.
He was not going to dethrone regardless. Even if he was a better player, they had staying power from their name.
I mean, the only way you get in there in a role like that is when you're whatever defensive pick you are. He was number I don't know what he was overall. He went to Vanderbilt, but his injury, we could say the same thing about Shaq Thompson, right? It's like, why isn't that Shaq Thompson didn't play those years and he's just getting to it? I think the good thing is that you've had these guys in the NFL. They've been playing at NFL speed for a little while. So I expect Burris and I expect Stephen Weatherly to be contributors.
Big contributors.
So if I say that Burris is the replacement for Reed, I say Weatherly is the replacement for Addison, and I think the name to be interested up there is Schofield, breakout candidate of the year, Prison Break, Michael Schofield. No, Joe. I think his name's Joe Schofield, but he is what we're going to need. Is we got to fill the role that Van Roten left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that he's guaranteed to be it, but these are some guys, we need the next Greg Van Roten. We need the next, who was the guy that was really awesome that we all liked, and then he went to Jacksonville. So,
Andrew Norwell.
Yeah, we need that player, and we need our rookies to contribute. But I think it's a pipe dream to believe that Gross Matos is going to be starter day one, as well as Jeremy Chin.
Is that based on just their rookies? Is too much to assume that they would, or is that based off of their talent and what they do? Because I could argue that right now I would take Gross Matos over Marquise Haynes. I would put him there over Christian Miller, even though Christian Miller still has a lot of potential.
You've been juggling Christian Miller's D-bag for a year now.
Shouldn't that speak to how much he likes Gross Matos?
That's my point. He's bigger. He's a 4-3 defensive end, and that's what we're doing. He's better suited.
I don't think we are. I think we're going to a 3.
I
think we're staying in 3-4.
I don't think so. They've already said that they're not. They've already said that they're going.
They did say
they've already said they're
officially?
going 4-3.
Okay.
Yeah, they said they were going 4-3.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe not everyone. Maybe not every player that we drafted, but I mean, a lot of our young players are going to have to play meaningful snaps. I'm not convinced that Weatherly is going to be a more entrenched starter this year than
who was round 2 again?
Gross Matos.
He was our round 2 pick, so we went.
Yeah, and then we moved up for Jeremy Chin.
Okay.
Can I ask what would prevent a team? I mean, if you can train a team to the same players to be in a 3-4, and you can train players to be in a 4-3, and you have players that can play both positions, what would stop a team from switching that up mid-game?
Well, I'll tell you what.
In a 3-4, and then run 2 plays in a 4-3. I just don't understand why.
I'll tell you why is the Panthers tried to do that for the last 2 years, and it's been a complete shit show. They did it in 2018. We went to the 3-4 last year. We went to a 3-4 last year, but the year before we were trying to mix it up, and we were just awful. We had a shitty 3-4 defense.
It's a bigger playbook, right? So if you can have your players focus on a certain set of plays, right? They can actually perfect the techniques they need for that play. They can focus on the nuances they need to worry about. You start adding different formations and everything into that. Yeah, you might get some people that can handle that. But when you're talking about a 53-man roster, you're not going to have everybody be able to do those things. Obviously, I know not everybody's defense, but you're going to have issues with that. And so you've got to basically do whatever. I mean, no team's done that. No team has successfully did a hybrid type defense. It's always been either your 4-3, your 3-4, or something like that. So
a lot of teams play nickel, and I'm not really bogged down on the 3-4, 4-3 debate like we have been in years past.
Yeah,
because I honestly do think that we have a good assortment of players that can do both. I mean, if you look at Brian Burns, Christian Miller, Marquise Haynes, we can run that traditional 3-4, but now we also have guys like Gross Matos and Bravion Roy, and now Derek Brown. I mean, you can form a really formidable defensive line. It is going to give you the opportunity to be multiple and what you're able to do. So I think we have a versatile roster, just not very proven.
All right, let's go to the next call. All right. All right, have we answered? Oh, we did. We went through Burris. No, we went through Burris, Schofield. The other guys we just don't really know how they're going to fit when it comes to receiver, tight end, corner. You hope somebody kind of starts to show out because we really could use some help at corner.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's a question mark. I just wonder if we've got the 3 linebackers to run a 3-4, or are we going to be in a 3-4 but always be in the nickel? Or are you going to call it a 3-4, but it's going to be Christian Miller that's one of the linebackers?
But I thought you said with a 3-4 we only needed
4-3. I kept saying 4-3. Sorry, I meant 4-3.
Why would you need better linebackers in a 4-3 than you would in a 3-4? If you're going to have 4 linebackers out there, I guess like you said, 2 of them are basically defensive ends. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I just feel like you would need stronger in a 4-3.
It seems like that, but you shouldn't even call. It should really be a 3-2-2-3 is what it really should be, because calling Christian Miller a linebacker or Mario Addison a linebacker, that's why they have that stupid title now, edge, right? Because they're not really an end, but they're a pass rusher. But they're not like a Charles Johnson pass rusher. They're like a Brian Burns pass rusher, maybe.
I mean, I also remember we have for corner we have Troy Pride, who was drafted as well. So it's that we have a lot of depth. Like I'm saying, you just don't know a lot about them. Corn Elder is still on the roster. No one feels.
It wouldn't it be nice if
him.
Dante Jackson had to turn around? We need Dante Jackson to
kind
get
of what we're hoping for,
his ass together and KK to get healthy. That's what we need. Everybody likes gross toes.
Who?
Gross toes. Oh, gross matos. Sorry. I mean
gross matos. Yeah.
Gross toes.
Gross toes. Dude, your toes are gross.
They stink. All right. Next call.
Nasty.
Hey, Kyle again.
Hold on. Maybe. There we go.
Hey, guys. Kyle from VA.
Cover me for a second.
So, Kyle?
The whole Cam Newton thing real quick. And for all the Panthers fans are saying that you're not a real Panthers fan if you want Cam Newton to succeed on another team, shut the fuck up.
That's right.
Like that narrative is so fucking stupid. Like, we understand that you never liked him, you hated him for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you could if you were a real Panthers fan. Like, this dude did the most out of any player in our franchise history for this team. And for the area, it's not even close. Like, Cam was more than just a football player to the Carolinas, to Charlotte. Look at all the charities he did. Look at all at holidays he would go out and
tell him, Kyle,
and all this other stuff. He had a fucking show on Nickelodeon. I mean, come on. And you want to sit there and tell me I can't cheer for him when I don't think we're gonna do much this year. I really don't. I mean, I'm excited to watch his young defense and see how they work, see how the new coaches work, and see if Teddy Bridgewater can be a good quarterback with the weapons we have on offense. But at the same time, when I sit there and think about that, it kind of pisses me off that we didn't give Cam Newton a shot. How do you not give Cam Newton a shot when we finally have weapons at receiver, and we have a Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator? Like, how the fuck do you give up on Cam now? That makes no sense. None whatsoever. At all.
Mm-hmm.
So, to all the people that say that you're not a Panthers fan for cheering for Cam, ice the fuck up. I felt like the Panthers should have been lucky that Cam Newton even wanted to come back after all the shit he's been through. Never threw his team, his coaches, his teammates under the bus, not one time. They should be lucky that Cam Newton even wants to stay here. So the Panthers need to be humble a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And for those fans, man, just ice the fuck up. All right, guys, I'm out.
Appreciate you, Kyle.
I agree.
Man, I'm the same way, man. It feels like there was a lot of, Teddy Bridgewater is the quarterback now. Be a fan, or quit bitching about Cam. Whatever, dude. Cam Newton has been the Panthers the past 10 years, man. You can't just switch up in an instant and not expect fans to not be in their emotions, man. It is what it is. Yeah, you can't tell us to not be upset at the way Cam Newton was dealt with and treated. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yep.
All right, let's go on. Let's go in with the next call. I think it's more from Kyle.
Hey, Kyle again. I just forgot one thing. If y'all didn't see what our new quarterback is up to on Twitter, y'all got to go check it out. So, dude, Freeze on Twitter, I guess he got under the old Teddy Bridgewater skin just a little bit. And
yeah, he did.
Like, our quarterback is out here arguing with just an average Joe fan. And he's out here saying, my nuts hang low. I don't hear none of this shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Teddy? I mean, I understand the disrespect that you might have received, but, man, you got to let that shit blow up. You know how much disrespect all NFL players get from fans? The best thing to do is not comment. So if y'all haven't seen that, y'all got to go look at that whole thing. That shit was so funny. Trey Boston is involved in it, and I mean that shit was just crazy. It was so fucking funny. Y'all got to go.
What did Trey Boston have to do with it?
To put that out there. Like,
I didn't know about Trey Boston component.
Yeah, Trey Boston tweeted something too, and pretty much, I guess it was, I don't know, I don't remember the whole thing. It seemed to me like he was trying to defend Teddy Bridgewater and kind of like have his back a little bit, but I don't know, man. Dude, a few Ayo Freeze on Twitter, that's my homeboy, man. Dude, he got under some real, he got under Teddy's skin bad. Bad, dude. Kudos to him, man. Dude, sometimes you need someone to play that heel, man. And listen, it makes it more interesting. Like Teddy Bridgewater, we don't really know much about his personality. He kind of seems to himself, and he's not a real night and day from Cam Newton.
I think it's just his smile. He has such a big smile. It kind of makes you hard to think of him as like tough guy. He almost looks like the Grinch a little when he smiles.
I don't know, man. Cam had a pretty big smile, and I thought of him as pretty tough.
Yeah, me too.
You know.
All right. I don't know. It's something. Maybe it's the fact that his name's Teddy.
That might be part of it. Teddy is kind of a, well, I don't want just my other name, but Teddy does sound soft. But I'm sure his name's probably Theodore. I would go by Teddy if my name was Theodore too.
Teodoro is what I would go by.
Yeah.
But I think Theodore is bitching. I like that name.
If you're a chipmunk.
Here's the thing is that it's going to be tough if the Panthers are bad. Might as well go ahead and make it private now. If he's good, he's going to be the toast of the town, though, and he'll have this huge mob of supporters who are anti-Cam haters, or who are Cam haters, who will all of a sudden take on the mantra that all those idiots took on with Kyle Allen, that they took on with Derek Anderson. And I hope he is good, man. As Cody said this, we've said this since we signed him and parted ways with Cam. It's a tough position. We can think positively about Teddy Bridgewater and be fans of Cam. Next call.
What's going on, C3 Nation? This is Jay Anderson hitting y'all up.
What's up, Jay?
Forgot to hit y'all up last week, but it's all good. Happy about Cam. Hate to go back to it, but happy about Cam. On the New England Patriots. Happy year on the team, even though it's a bogus contract. But I blame that on Carolina for cutting him late. But anyway, I see all them. I see all these analysts now changing their minds. Like it's crazy. Like when he's with Carolina, they ain't no contenders. But when they was talking about him going to Chicago or Los Angeles, and now he with the Pats, now these teams are contenders with him. I find that crazy. Anyway, man, and I also find it crazy that couple of these narratives still sticking around. Like, I remember some guy named Ted Johnson from New England. Steroid neck Ted Johnson, talking about Cam never had no comeback victories or no clutch moments till 2015. You can tell by these analysts they don't watch games.
Exactly.
Or they only watch their games.
And
they only watch their
looking
games.
at highlights and stats.
Yeah.
They don't watch games.
That's
they
right.
don't know they don't watch Carolina Panthers games.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
Go back with that Philly game.
That's why I think everybody's happy that, or I think, is that, yes, we want to be upset that Cam is with the Patriots. We also want to be upset that Cam is no longer a Carolina Panther. But we're also secretly, or at least I'm secretly happy he's not with somebody that's going to just suck. Right? Is that now we get to see if putting Cam in a scenario with a good coaching staff. Now, I don't know if they have the amount of talent that we're used to, accustomed to. But this is a good place for Cam to have a comeback type story of his career. Now let's bring this up. As he mentioned that a lot of the analysts, now he's with New England. They are excited about him. But there's a lot of people in New England that said that he would never be a Patriot. There's a lot of, a ton of news and people that follow them on the radio. There was one lady, I brought it up last week, that she says, man, they're not going to bring Cam in, not because they're worried about his health, but because of character concerns. And there's this narrative. Now, CK, you sent us a story. You linked the story on Twitter today or yesterday.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what some of the people in New England are talking about.
Basically the same thing everybody else is talking about with Cam Newton, which is Cam Newton's outfit. Don't think his play style matches with Bill Belichick, his personality, all of the things that you heard from Cam Newton, why he's not going to be successful in the NFL, all that stuff. And the article was basically talking about how there's a clear racial bias in Boston with regard to Cam Newton as well, because everyone loved Gronk. Everyone loved Gronk there. And Gronk had this very party boy type of mentality. He made sure he taunted his opponents when he did something good with the spike in the ball and all of that stuff. And then, he was always celebrating. He was always having a good time. Nobody in New England said a thing about that, right? But the moment Cam Newton shows up, everybody wants to talk about how he's not a lock for the starting job, which, by the way, is a joke. If there's anybody in their right mind that believes that Cam Newton is not going to earn that starting job over top of Stidham,
Thank you.
you're insane.
Do you know who just published an article with The Athletic saying that it was not a lock? Ross Tucker. Now, the Ross Tucker podcast is kind of fun to listen to. His just voice is so cool and weird at the same time. He sounds like he's got like a marshmallow in his mouth or something. But Ross Tucker said that he's not a lock, and that he said pump your brakes. You got a shortened off season. You've got a second round Stidham pick that they're excited about or something like that, or whatever he was. I thought this was the dumbest thing ever. Is that, of course, like if Cam can't win that starting job, it's because he's playing on one leg.
I think even then he could win the starting job.
Yeah. You trying to tell me that Brian Hoyer is more prepared than Cam Newton because he's been in the system before? Hell no. Is that if you have to ease him in, that's what my man's supposed to do, right? What's his name? The offensive coordinator? McDaniels.
McDaniels.
Yeah. You trying to tell me that Josh McDaniels is going to you got to really want to prove that you're the genius of the bunch to start Stidham over Cam Newton or Brian Hoyer over Cam Newton.
And the thing is too, learning a new system. I get it's a new system, new coach, but realistically, a lot of the things in most systems are very virtually the same. There are basic plays that everybody runs.
It's the verbiage.
There are certain plays at different plays, like maybe Andy Reid's playbook is slightly different, but it's also because he has different talent to go with it. He's not going to run that same kind of playbook with different kind of talent. Everybody has a set base number of plays they run. Plus, Cam Newton's already there throwing with the team. I mean, it doesn't take that. I don't feel like it would take that long if you've been playing football your entire life to learn a handful of new plays or 25 new plays.
I wonder if they got Trevor Lawrence next year, if they would be like, you know what, let's pump the brakes. Jason Stidham, he knows the system.
Right.
Probably not. But I mean, dude, we're talking about ifs, ands, and fucking nuts, man. It's so stupid because it's like everyone knows this is coming from the group of people that have done nothing but shit on Cam Newton and parrot the stupid opinions of the Colin Cowherds of the world and talk about the completion percentage numbers and, he's too worried about his fashion. These are the same people, okay? And by the way, I've also heard it on many occasions that Boston is like one of the most secretly racist, well, not really a secret, but there's a lot of people in Boston that have some questionable views about. Dude, there was a baseball player on the field. I think it was the Red Sox. They had a player on the. I think it was a right fielder they were chanting the N-word at him. Dude, this was like 2 years ago, man. Boston has a kind of a culture that's like, you either do it our way or fuck off. And it's this tough guy kind of bullshit. And dude, Cam Newton is going to light that shit on fire. On fire. He's going to be the starter for the Patriots, and anyone who thinks otherwise is a dipshit.
Dude, you know what I love doing right now? Is going back to posts from when we beat the Patriots, right? Any of those seasons. But let's talk about the one that where Cam just went in there and just wrecked them, right? And you see all these people just talking about how horrible, like, he's such a sissy boy. He dresses like a transvestite, all this stuff, stuff you'll see. And then if you go look at their page right now, guess who's so excited to have Cam Newton on their team? Oh, he's a class act. He's the best. It is so crazy. I almost just want to, if it wouldn't look stalkerish, I almost want to just sit there and tell them, hey, I just saw this tweet you had 2 years ago where Cam Newton was, oh my gosh, the scum of the earth in your mind, and he needs to just shut up and play football.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to find out how you got from there to where you're at now on Twitter. Talk to me about that. That's just but it would look crazy if I did that.
Do it. That's what I say. Do it. I want you to do this. Is I'm going to send you guys something, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. I'll send it to y'all in the chat. But this tweet says, "This how Cam Newton gonna dress up like a post game show," and good God. Why did it go now? All right, I put it up on the screen if you guys got the YouTube mess on. Oh, God, that's funny.
I'm waiting for
They
it.
got him dressed up. I'm going to have to send it as an attachment or something. Let me see.
Yeah, I see it.
My man's dressed up like a Minuteman.
Oh my gosh!
That's
I would
awesome
love
right
if
there.
Cam Newton did that just to troll people, though. Like, just show
Oh
up
gosh,
with
I
that.
hope so too. And he's put out some stuff. I'm gonna try to find it. I wish I should have really pulled it up. Cam's been posting a lot recently, and he has put up with the most recent one was something. Let me see if I can play it. He said,
Is
"I'm
this the one
tired of
where he
being
says,
humbled." He said, "I'm tired
You
of being
pick him.
humbled."
Oh, yep.
Let's see. Media. Let's see. Is it this one?
That's such a great picture.
Did you guys see the picture of Cam arriving in Boston?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, he looks like a fucking cyborg. His legs they're like redwood trees.
He would be worshipped as a god 200 years ago.
Yeah, dude, he's just a fucking mountain of muscle, man.
Matt Rule couldn't work with that though, man. It's he couldn't deal with that kind of quarterback, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it sounded alarm for
I can't
Teddy
find
Bridgewater.
the
Somebody who wants to
clips.
focus so much on his physical physique or his physique rather than his mental capabilities. I don't want him on my team.
Yeah, not a good football player. He's not dedicated.
Not dedicated enough.
Leave it to me.
Dude.
Leave the physical fraternizing to me when it comes to Cam Newton. He did
I'm
say
sorry,
something.
that is your baby.
He said something to the effect of, "I'm tired of being humble."
Yeah, he said he's tired of being humble. He says, "You picked that over me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Cam Newton might have seen the Teddy Bridgewater
I think so too.
Twitter beef. And it was like, man, they got your ass.
I would have loved to have
riled
seen
up,
Cam
man.
respond to that with just like a laughing emoji or something.
Oh,
Or
just
just
the
the eyes.
eyeballs.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah, the eyeballs.
All right. I think
Dude,
this is the
man,
last.
I almost wonder if he did that. I mean, I almost feel like Cam still has kind of like because he knows that like the majority of Panthers fans are mad. I mean, we had you had a huge billboard put up to tell the Panthers organization to keep Cam in Carolina, right? You had all of this stuff with regard to it, and so my biggest thing is, does Cam almost feel protective over the Panthers fans that are basically shitting on Teddy Bridgewater, talking about we should have kept Cam, and I wonder if that's where his anger came from when he said that,
All right, we got one more call.
Probably so.
The New England Patriots guys is the NFL's version of the Los Angeles Lakers. And Cam Newton is a new Black Mamba. He's a new Kobe Bryant. Right?
Ooh.
Peace, God. This is Maurice from Andrew, North Carolina. What do y'all think about that? And check this out. OBJ to the New England Patriots next year.
It would not surprise me one bit.
But I think they'll get Antonio Brown first. But let me comment on that real quick. I disagree. They're not the Lakers of the NFL because you're thinking about the last 20 years. Lakers have always been a good team in their entire existence. I mean, they've always been a contender, except for the last 4 years for this one. But other than that, yeah, I can see that. Cam Newton is the Mamba with the Mamba mentality in New England. Yeah.
They got the most rings in our era, right? Probably since the Bulls are kind of a little bit, they're the Bulls of our era. I won't say our era because I was there for the Bulls stuff, but I was a little young. I don't know. I'd like to see the Black Mamba, but he came up in Los Angeles. Tough comparison. I think this is that what you get him joining a storied franchise now. And the Patriots were not always that storied franchise. They have been in the last 20 years. But now the Patriots are in the ranks of a team like a Green Bay, a Dallas, right? New England, San Francisco for being legendary squads.
That's true, yeah.
And so if you think about that, too, when it comes to the NBA comparison, if you're going to say who is it, it's the Lakers, the Bulls, and the Celtics. You can't even say the Knicks because the Knicks have always stunk. Have the Knicks really ever been that good?
They had a few years.
Like Latrell Sprewell. They must have been good in the 70s or something before we... I don't know.
They had a couple good years in the 90s with Latrell Sprewell and a few other guys. I can't remember the names right now. I think they actually made it to the finals one year, but I think it was just 1 year.
What was the dude that...
Great goodness.
What was the dude that Dolan kicked out? It was in the news a year or two ago.
It wasn't
He was
Stevens.
a famous Knicks player.
Yeah.
And then they end up kicking him out, and the fans were booing the security guards that were having to kick him out because, of course, they love this dude. He's like a famous Knicks player. The chat room will probably have it in a second.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably will.
But
Charles Oakley.
Charles Oakley. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm not versed enough in basketball, I don't think, to make comparisons about the Lakers or who Cam Newton
if anything,
is.
one cool kind of comparison is if Cam Newton is the Black Mamba, then Bill Belichick is Phil Jackson. He's the Zen Master.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
All right,
that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it like that. So that's an even better comparison to do it right there.
All right, let's go. We have one last subject to talk about before we start icing up picks. I think it's worthy to talk about the Patrick Mahomes contract. And what makes me think about it is, I don't like people going, oh, well, I don't really get on the bandwagon, well, this is just more insulting to Cam. This is more insulting to Cam. Because I think the Patrick Mahomes contract is like kind of a white whale of contracts, which I like the NFL. Maybe we'll see more of these contracts that kind of mirror a baseball contract, it feels like. But what makes me think, one guy wrote this on Twitter, and I forget who it was, and I see him all the time. He's always a great tweeter, and he was probably in on that Teddy Bridgewater stuff. He said the Patrick Mahomes contract makes it look like the Patriots are paying Cam in loose cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, Patrick Mahomes, he deserves to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I agree.
Oh, sure.
When we first heard about this, I totally disagree with it because all I saw was $503 million. I didn't look at all the stats or all the everything that broke down with it, and then CK kind of explained it to me. I thought it was $503 million. Is what I saw, which is pretty large.
Thoughts, Cody?
On
the numbers, what are the numbers for this thing?
10 years, and which is unheard of. And when you tally in all the incentives that he's set to make, and the millions and extra incentives if he wins NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP, It's upward of $503 million over the course of 10 years. It's the richest contract in the history of sports. I mean, we're not just talking about NFL. I mean, this is a record-setting sports contract. And, we're talking about comparisons here. People get pissed when you talk about GOATs and legends like this. But when you look at the trajectory and what Patrick Mahomes has been able to do in his short time playing football, until proven otherwise, right now he is on track to be football's Michael Jordan, in the way that Michael Jordan just bust out on the scenes and was an instant superstar and elevated everyone around him.
Michael Jordan didn't bust out on the scenes.
Yeah,
he lost
he did.
in the playoff the first round playoff.
Did you see the last
6 years he was in the NBA? LeBron James busted out on the scenes.
No,
Michael Jordan
but
didn't
winning
bust out on the scenes.
championships. But okay, he damn sure didn't suck either. I mean, he was tearing it up. He didn't win championships. Yeah, but that's not all on him. That's a one player.
Championships.
Well, the Chicago Bulls were also like the worst team in the NBA, like at the time.
No way, they were in the playoffs.
I think. Yeah,
how were they the worst team in the NBA?
Before
Michael Jordan came in, they were terrible.
Yeah, they were.
They got LeBron.
All right.
Well,
So here, I think you're getting I think you're getting hung up on the wrong point of what Cody's saying.
Sure
And I
am.
think what Cody is saying is that right now Mahomes is on the trajectory to be the greatest football player of all time.
Yeah, but Super Bowl. 3 years in the NFL, he's won a Super Bowl. He's been an NFL MVP and a Super Bowl MVP.
And they were one overtime away and an offsides by D Ford of being in the Super Bowl the year before against the Rams.
Yep. And they would have smacked.
Man.
He has now. Here's the thing: is that you never know what someone else is going to do. But how old is Mahomes? He's only like 23. He's 26.
Yeah.
No, is he? What is he?
No, it's like 24, 25.
So this only makes sense. Is the only reason that he's 24, right? So this only makes sense with one player, and that's him. I can't see you giving a contract like this to any other player in the NFL at the current moment.
Yeah, I don't really think so either, man. I don't know. I think this is a Patrick Mahomes contract. I don't think Deshaun Watson, for as incredible as I think he is, maybe if he was with the Chiefs, it'd be different, but I don't think Deshaun's going to get anywhere near that. I don't think Lamar Jackson, especially the number of years for Lamar, because Lamar's play style is so much more dangerous.
He also has only had really one really good, like crazy good year. The other year was it was okay. It was okay. He showed the running ability, but there were a lot of questions with his passing ability in the first year. They threw it like 8 times. This is equivalent. Patrick Mahomes had Cam Newton's 2015 season in like his second season. Third, and that's he was younger. Mm-hmm. And when you watch him play, if you knew what Russell Wilson was going to be, maybe you would have given this to Russell Wilson 5 years ago. But I think they're getting too old. At this point, you're really talking about is that they're going to pay him $40 million a year. Right? That's what it comes
down to.
Well, that's if you get all the incentives and all of that.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
He has $100 million guaranteed after March or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big number.
And how about this? A percentage of it is tied to the salary cap. So if that number goes up or down, the amount of money that he's guaranteed goes up or down. I mean, there has literally never been a contract ever like this before. I mean, this is
kind of what Aaron Rodgers wanted. He wanted a contract where he gets the ability to renegotiate when a new quarterback sets the market. Yeah. Except for Patrick Mahomes is linking it to the salary cap instead. I still wonder what happens if Patrick Mahomes, if they could cut him, and when it makes sense financially to do that.
I don't know. I remember.
I'm gonna look it up. I'll look it up while you talk.
That Patrick had some outs later on in the contract. But what I found funny is, I mean, you look at the Packers, right? They already drafted Jordan Love. Like, they're already looking for life after Aaron Rodgers. It's just kind of weird that you have a team, that's willing to, and that Patrick is willing to sign for 10 years.
This is insane when you look at the numbers.
Yeah, normally you want to do this thing where you're able to sign in another, 3 or 4 years and test the market.
They're going to do that. Right? He's still going to do that. Look at this. Year one, $65 million. That's insane. Year two, $60 million. Year three, 30. This is, if you cut them, this is dead money. So the cap number for year one is only $5 million. The second year is $24 million. The third year is $31 million. The fourth year is $42 million. And the fifth year is $40 million. They can cut him after year three and have very limited dead money. But he still will have $100 million guaranteed.
Yeah, it's kind of a win-win. And, it's like I said, I didn't like this when I first saw it, but CK kind of opened my eyes about it. And I don't want to break his news with him about it, but it does make a lot of sense for Kansas City. CK can elaborate on that a little more, but it's really a smart move for them.
It's just that he's going to count. It's really going to hurt them in 2023. The cap, not hurt, but it's a $42 million number.
The salary cap's going to be so large by then, though, dude. It's not going to hurt nearly as
This
bad.
almost feels like it could just be a 4-year, $120 million deal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is that this seems like it's a deal that is going to benefit the Chiefs because, like, after 5 years, if he's not good, they can cut him and not be impacted nearly as much, But it makes Patrick Mahomes happy, and they backloaded a lot of that money, to where if they did cut him after that 5 years, they're still not necessarily having to deal with it, And it provides loyalty, and let's say things are great. Let's say things are amazing and he continues and he wins 3, 4, 5 more Super Bowls for the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, think of what a 2025 starting quarterback would get paid if it's $30 million.
And he would be middle of the pack at that point in time. And then if he goes to ask to be
renegotiate. Yep, you'll see that about year 2023. I bet you in 2023, 2024 they'll already be working on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so hard to tell. I mean, if you look at the Chiefs, they don't have a lot of cap space. I mean, they really don't have a ton of money to spend.
They're going to be completely different after next year. I don't see how they can maintain, honestly.
Yeah, so it lets you believe that they're going to have to rework that contract at some point in time anyway, depending on how if he's going to be willing to, retool some of the money to sign other players. Which, by the way, I think that, when you give a contract like this to Patrick Mahomes, it's saying, hey, we're hoping that you are going to do that for us later on down the road, that you will be willing to let us edit some of the details, that we were able to sign more players. And I feel like Patrick would be more apt to do that because he wants to continue to win Super Bowls and put talent around him.
They really don't have a lot of marquee contracts though. Tyreek Hill, Chris Jones, the Honey Badger, Eric Fisher,
Who's their tight end?
Mitchell Schwartz, Travis Kelce. But Travis Kelce right now is in. They're going to lose Travis Kelce after this year.
I don't know, man. Do you think so? Dude, after what? Well, okay, Tony devalues tight ends all the time anyway. He's never wanted to draft him in the draft, which that's fine.
But I was trying to get Njoku.
Well, all right, yeah, you're trying to get Njoku, so pick one. Maybe when you look at George Kittle and Travis Kelce and how good they are at running routes, catching passes, blocking. I mean, tight end is a versatile position, and if you have a damn good one, they're hard to come by. So
he's
I don't
31
know,
years
man.
old. Travis Kelce is 31 years old this year. He's got 2 years left on his contract. This year he cost them $11.2 million, and next year he will only cost them $9 million. So I think what you're going to get I think you're going to have Kelce saying here, I'm 31 years old. I need to sign a new deal.
Yeah, he's got one more big contract left in his career, I think. One more big
If
one.
even big, I would be scared to give big money to a guy that's in his 30s. If he's 27, I mean, you maybe done this 2 years ago. When did he sign his contract now? Or is he still... Travis Kelce signed a 5-year contract extension in 2016. The contract is worth $46.8 million with $20 million guaranteed. I just don't know if they're going to be able to pay a tight end extremely a lot at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, who's more important, Tyreek Hill to that offense or Travis? I mean, they already signed
And
Tyreek,
you know what? Did they re-sign Tyreek?
Yeah, they did.
He got a
They
massive
gave him
contract.
some
That was
money.
right before his whole thing.
All right, so let's see what he has. He's got Tyreek Hill signed a 3-year extension with Kansas City in 2019. It's worth $54 million, 22 fully guaranteed at signing. His contract's going to be coming up, though, in 2021 as well.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
they're going to have to build through the
he's-
draft. That's what they're thinking about, is building through the draft.
Yeah, and let me ask this. Out of all the... I'm going to try and think long out in the distance, right? Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, any of these guys, even the guys that are still coming, like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, are we ever going to see another contract that matches this one? Or did we just see a once-in-a-lifetime Patrick Mahomes deal?
I won't say we're seeing a once in a lifetime. I just don't know of anybody right now that has given me, if Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson, if Deshaun Watson goes and wins the NFL MVP and they win a Super Bowl without DeAndre Hopkins or something like that, and it's all him looking like the most amazing thing ever, maybe you could say, I don't even know how old he is. I feel like he's been in the league a little too long. I think the whole thing that Mahomes did was show a kind of greatness that comes in your 5th or 6th year in year 1 and 2. I mean, he always looks like he never. I mean, he's looked like the best quarterback in the league since he stepped onto the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he really has. I mean, he has the benefit of a lot of things that a lot of quarterbacks don't get, though. He has a great coach. He's got a great line.
Yeah.
He's got a great receiving core. I mean, he has a lot of weapons around him. Like, can you imagine? I could imagine almost any quarterback would be better in that system than they are in just about any other one. To be truly honest with you, because his system is not him running around a ton. He's not a super mobile quarterback. He is mobile. But that's not his game.
He
His
just
game
makes
is
these
accuracy.
insane throws. I think maybe what if Kyler Murray won MVP next year and the Super Bowl? Maybe, and then did it again. Maybe you could
that's
say
what I'm
him.
saying. And like, what if? Okay, so for example, what if Joe Burrow turns around the Bengals in one season and replicates his LSU performances? Like, then that's pretty fucking incredible too.
It takes massive success early on to where it looks like, you have to be more successful than Cam Newton and Andrew Luck were. You have to be more, and that's what Patrick Mahomes is. He's been like a 50 touchdown guy since like week 1. And maybe Trevor Lawrence could do it. If Trevor Lawrence comes in and comes to the Panthers and they get an MVP season by year 2 and win the Super Bowl, and you go, well, there was no doubt in our mind this is going to happen. Maybe this is something like this that you could do. It is a way of keeping inflation in check, but I still would be interested. What if this was just a fully guaranteed contract and you didn't have all these fluff numbers involved? That's what I want to see. I want to see the Kirk Cousins contract replicated on a 5-year scale.
I think that hurts teams more than this one does. To be truly honest with you. That's why you won't see stuff like that.
I don't know how groundbreaking of a contract this truly is. I mean, it sounds like it. It sounds like it, and it is. But it has a lot of the old school contract feel to it, and that is where the last 5 years, the last end of the contract really don't matter.
And by the way, and I've said this before too, when you look at other guys that maybe don't have the type of supporting cast that Patrick Mahomes does, you can do the what ifs if you put Deshaun on the Chiefs or Kyler Murray or whatever. But one of the things that I think, and I've said this before, Patrick Mahomes is the perfect storm. Is the perfect storm of being on the right team with the right coach, with the right players, and having the right skill set at the right time. Like all those things coalesce into this incredible thing that the Kansas City Chiefs now have. And dude, can you imagine being a Chiefs fan right now? Like you have this all-star quarterback that's just big dick in the NFL and he's just taking over the world. And you know that for the next 10 years, your team is going to be a competitor for as long as you have him and that head coach. Like that every year you're a perennial Super Bowl contender until proven otherwise.
Did he really only throw 4,000 yards last year?
He was injured for like 4 games. Right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. He started 14 games, but he still only had 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns. The year before, he had 5,050 passing touchdowns. That's insane. How many did he have? Any rushing touchdowns that year? I can't tell. Yards per carry, TDs.
Didn't he get injured on a rushing touchdown? He got injured diving across the line and dislocated his knee and scored a touchdown on that. I think that's how he got injured, right? Or maybe he didn't score a touchdown on it, but I know it was at the goal line.
It's crazy. I don't know who. Go ahead.
Did we have another cat call?
I don't think so. I think we're all done.
Oh, okay. I
think that's it. Did we hear this one?
The New England Patriots guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last one.
Yeah, we're done. Let's see. Anything else we need to talk about in this contract, in this world of NFL?
No, man, I think that's it.
All right.
Unless y'all want to devolve into politics again, which I don't think anybody wants to.
No, because we're probably going to end the Ice Up segment. In fact, let's do that. Let's go ahead and close out the show, and we'll get to the Ice Up picks. My name is Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe. Thanks to James Woodley, Mike Vela tonight for not only their insight in those bars, Run DMC, Tyler Lovato, but their generosity to this podcast. We appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and let's say the Ice Up pick. It's the time we ice. It's our homage to Steve Smith, where we tell someone to ice up, to toughen up, to get it together. My Ice Up pick is going to highlight Deshaun Jackson from the Philadelphia Eagles, but turn more so to just Deshaun Jackson as a guy who is historically and just intellectually ill-informed on an issue. So he saw words that, suggested to him that there was some sort of conspiracy against black people. But the problem is that he had difficulty seeing that it was a Hitler lyric and it was about a Jewish conspiracy and just what and here I'll give you another example for the people that are pulling down all the statues and all this different thing. As I am totally against the Confederate statues. I don't think they should be in public places because they lost. And there's I've got a lot to say about that. But there was the defamation of a General Grant statue. And I'm happy that people are social activists. I'm happy that people care about their society and are trying to root out things of the past that relate today, that they see as emblematic of our society's problems. But I think it's hard when we look at people of the past and just throw easy stones at everybody. And what I would argue is not to become less involved, less vocal, less active. I would encourage all of you to become more historically informed, so that when you when your activism is in the public eye, it resonates better. And there's another example of this is back to the July 4th holiday. So many people jumping on the anti-July 4th bandwagon because it's easy, right? And it fits kind of their narrative. And then you see a lot of people too that I saw one person, some very privileged people in society doing it as well. But they're like, you call it independence, I call it 400 years of slavery and theft of a nation. And what I would argue is that's not what it's just kind of it's an incomplete view of the past. And so while these issues are very important, let's have legitimate conversations about the heroes of our country, the ideas that we're celebrating. But let's be careful as you cast stones that you're not just casting stones without any knowledge, thrown with a blindfold on. And for instance, to finish up and wrap up on the July 4th celebration, is that the United States has its share of warts, right? Share of flaws, and we certainly have some inconsistencies if you want to judge the July 4th celebration based on the words of "create all men created equal." But really, what there's some other ways of looking at it as well, right? You can look at some of those failures or misgivings or shortcomings, but you could also say this is that, this is a holiday that celebrates the beginning of self-government becoming fashionable as an idea, right? And prior to the United States, and I would actually say this, guys, is y'all don't even need to be upset with the damn Declaration of Independence. If you really want to celebrate the birth of the United States, you probably should celebrate the ratification of the Constitution. Just my thoughts on that is that the Declaration of Independence was a statement by a group of people and colonies that kind of pushed their chips in and said, we're either going to be traitors or we're going to be revolutionaries and patriots. But I think that we get so hung up on we wish they would have been something more, that we forget some of the really radical elements of it. And it's the first nation that is on a big scale a republic in the history of the world since Rome, before Jesus was born. So you're talking about 1,700 years go by where nobody believed that self-government would work. And for all of us who think our politics are shitty right now, maybe it doesn't. Right? But that is what this holiday is representing, not that things are perfection or all of this. So look, pick up a book, keep writing, keep talking, keep caring about your society. But make sure, just know this, as people study their whole lives on subject and they still don't have a great grounding on what's going on in the past. That's like saying what's going on in America right now. Who the hell knows? Mm-hmm. So guys, before you do stuff like Deshaun Jackson or deface Grant, who by the way is the savior of the union, was a very progressive president, or talk shit about Sherman because he didn't take care of the black people as he was fighting a war and decimating the South, is just put it in a little context and then throw the stone. So to you ill-informed historians of the world, the professor tells you, ice up.
Very well put. Very well put.
I'm gonna go next because I gotta get out of here. But I am icing up Peter King. If you don't know Peter King, he used to work for Monday Morning Quarterback. I think he's with NBC Sports now. Peter King has been a well-respected NFL analyst for a long time. But it's one of those things where he picks the weirdest hills to die on. And in case you don't know, and if you're an American, how do you not know at this point? Every 4th of July, not only do we celebrate... What the hell is that? Is that...
I'm not hearing anything.
Did I just hear that? What the hell was that? Was that on my end? What the hell
did you hear?
We didn't hear anything, but obviously the NSA is listening.
Dude, I'm all of a sudden here... Sorry, guys. Anyway, dude, Nathan's hot dog eating contest is every 4th of July. It's like a staple. Joey Chestnut is the reigning champion once again. He's just a badass. And Peter King, every 4th of July, decides to go on a tirade about, how sinful and gluttonous the Nathan's hot dog eating championship is. And it's just the worst of all of our nation. Like, hey, dude, have you seen the shit going on in the world today? And you're going to pick a moment to rally and hatred around the hot dog.
It is disgusting to watch, though.
But, dude, it's like, who are you expecting to get on your side? Do you think you're going to get Americans to boycott the Nathan's hot dog eating competition? Like, come on. It's the dumbest shit in the world. Pick your battles. You just sound like an old asshole that's out of touch with the times, bitching about nothing. So, to Peter King, ice up, son.
Cody, I know you got to run. Before you go, one thing, I was watching the clip of him winning the championship, shove it, he was like almost smashing the hot dogs through his teeth. Like he was using the lines in his teeth to actually like cheese grate the hot dog as he went through. But the commentator goes, "You're watching the greatest athletes in the world." And I was like, oh my God. All right. Cody, Cripple Connection still going. Where can they find you on Twitter?
Yeah, on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. Hit me up. I'll talk with you about anything. If you're a fan of video games, every Friday, me and my partner Jeffrey Redmond do a video game podcast where we talk about all the latest and greatest in the news industry. And I'm still writing for Draft Tech. It's once a month. Check that out. I'm the Panthers analyst for drafttech.com. Brand new write-up. And that's it for your boy. Until next Tuesday.
All right. Peace out, homie.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants next on the ice up lane?
CK. You want it, CK? You want me to go?
I don't have a great one, but I'll go.
Okay.
So today, one of the guys that I stream with, his name is Shred, Capitan Shred. He has he actually has one of the biggest real estate podcasts in the nation. But he's been streaming Call of Duty, and he sent me a message this morning on Discord showing where Activision has banned his account. Dude does like this happens to people who typically cheat, so permaban them, and he's definitely not the guy who cheats, right? Like at all. He's streaming the entire time. The only time he's ever playing video games is when he's on stream. No cheating whatsoever. He is not anywhere close to being good enough to be considered even remotely close to cheating. All right. So nonetheless, he tries to get them on the line and he can't get anybody. They're basically giving him the runaround saying we're short staffed. He finally gets the live chat going and they basically tell him, too bad. So sad, have a good day, and then basically in the chat without ever like saying, did I satisfy what you're doing? None of that. So he is trying to play the game that he has put money into to buy skins, to buy battle pass, to buy all of these things, right? He has put money into it to help increase the validity of his stream, and they have banned him. And so he tried to create a new profile. They are tracking his IP address, and he can't even play on a new profile at all. Wow. Period. And so he said he's put a ton of money into it, and Activision will refuse. And it's happened to about 12,000 people over the past 24 hours, and they refuse to do anything about it.
It sounds like what PlayStation did to me when somebody hacked my account.
Yeah, and so, but this difference is that it's not a matter of somebody saying that they, did it. They're not even giving him a reason why. They're not telling him why. They're not giving him any indication. They gave him no warning, nothing. None of that.
I tell you, every time I play Call of Duty, I play a bunch of fucking cheaters, it seems like. Sorry.
Well, in my stream, every time I die, I'm definitely getting killed by hackers every single time. But there is no other possible explanation. Right. But I will say there are a lot of cheaters, like in that game. And it does get to be a bit overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. All right, Activision. Ice up. Also, CK, you got to get together with Joey's stepson and play. He's like you good.
Wow.
You know, like 12 kills in a round and stuff like that.
Who is it?
You guys will dominate. Joey's stepson. He plays Joey, myself, his brother, and his stepson play, and basically he just carries us. Y'all would be great. All right, what you got, Greg?
Mine's kind of silly, a little bit old. I want to see if I can share this video here. Let's see if I can figure this out. Share a Chrome tab. Oh, yeah, I think I can do it. Let's see. Share.
You might have to, Tony may have to adjust something real quick.
It looks good.
You look good? All right.
Yeah. The wind whispered through the forest. A storm is coming. I am the storm, the great American grizzly. Introducing the original Trumpy Bear, the fearless, super plush American grizzly. Trumpy Bear was born June 14th, Flag Day. Just find the secret zipper and pull out the American flag-themed blanket. Show your patriotism and proudly display Trumpy.
Just wait to hear people say about it.
God bless America, and God bless Trumpy Bear.
American industry once ruled the world, and now we're back on track again. Thank you, Trumpy Bear.
Thank you,
Trumpy Bear sits proudly at the front of the motorcycle and loves to cruise with his brother.
I'm a former Marine, and I'm proud to have Trumpy Bear ride by my side. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
When I saw Trumpy Bear, I knew I had to have him. He's a fighter just like me.
Some firehouses have Dalmatians. We have Trumpy Bear.
I've been in law enforcement for over 4 years, and I love my Trumpy Bear. Trumpy Bear always has my back. When I go on patrol, I'm rolling with Trumpy Bear.
I'm a small business owner, and business is great again. Thank you, Trumpy Bear.
Yeah, thank you, Trumpy Bear.
People know me as Frankie the Broom. I own my own commercial cleaning service. My business is doing great. Thank you, Trumpy Bear.
When I ride with Trumpy Bear, he makes my golf game great again. Thank you, Trumpy Bear.
Order the Super Plus Trumpy Bear for only 2 payments of $19.95.
That's totally a
and
joke.
receive a
$40
special
bear?
certificate of authenticity.
It's a joke.
You get the COA with it, too.
Find out how you can get the Trumpy Bear Golf Club cover. Don't miss out on owning a piece of American history.
Piece of American history.
The most fearless bear anywhere. Order now.
It has to be a joke. I don't believe it.
No, that's for real. That's for real, because I think I'm going to buy it as a gift for somebody. But but here's the thing. I'm not really icing up the Trumpy Bear thing.
I think you should buy it for Cody. Now he's
yeah, he would love that. He would love that. But no, I mean, it's not so much a matter of the Trumpy Bear thing. It's the people in the commercial like, Trumpy Bear's made my business better, and my golf game is better with Trumpy Bear.
That's
like,
why
seriously,
I think it's a joke.
Find a different way to
I go on
advertise
patrol
that.
with Trumpy Bear. I carry Trumpy Bear up to the windows when I'm writing tickets.
Trumpy Bear
so
took a
funny.
bullet for me.
So to people in that commercial who think Trumpy Bear makes your golf game better and makes you safer in your police car, makes your firehouse operate better, stuff made your business better, ice up. That's so silly.
The number's 252-228-5098. Get your calls in for next week. It's the C3 Panthers podcast. We appreciate all y'all's support. Go check out CK streaming on Facebook Facebook.com/Codizzle Allen.
Yeah, Facebook.com/Codizzle Allen. You could do FB.GG/Codizzle Allen.
Right.
There's a lot of different avenues you can take. You can find me on Twitter, and every time I go live, I put the Twitter going live notification out there for anybody who's following me. So, either way, man, everybody just go shoot me a follow. I'm up to about 413 followers now. So
on Twitter or on Facebook?
No.
Oh,
on Facebook. Yeah, Twitter's not even
man,
close
we
to
will
that, I don't
get
think.
you that tattoo by November.
I would like to see us come close to that tattoo before the end of July.
Yes, let's do that. Go check out Codizzle Allen on Facebook Gaming. And Greg, you got a lot going on, building sheds, going in. Did you say Hilton Head?
Yeah, we went.
Were you hanging out with Michael Jordan or something?
No, that wasn't my trip. That was a family thing.
Okay.
They decided where to go. I just helped
Tagged
throw
along.
some money that way and take the trip. That's right, tagged
All
along.
right. Now, what's going on in the podcasting world?
Oh man, all over the place. You can find me at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter if you want to talk to me there. And then I do this show. I do a DC Alliance podcast. I do a Superhero Discussions podcast, which are both part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance network, podcasting network. So check out that network. You can find all the shows. We drop shows Monday through Friday, so it kind of gives you something to listen to every day. And then I'm doing live shows on YouTube every Friday for the Super Civil Servants podcast. For those of y'all who love talking to Sarah Taylor's part of my podcasting team as well. She's great on there. Come check us out. You get to see us live.
When are
in
those?
The chat room just like this.
When are those?
What? 9 p.m. Fridays.
9 p.m. Fridays.
And just out of curiosity, what day do you eat?
I'm on liquid diet, man. Much faster. So liquid diet.
Fair enough.
All right. Thanks again to James Woodley, Mike Vella. Way to drop those bars. Carolyn Can. Sorry, Cody. You don't get to smash that taken. That was Run DMC. Tyler Lovato. Thank you all the people in the chat. Thank you for the people that are listening in their cars and listening later on. Keep pounding. We'll see you next week.
Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
All right, we're done. We've actually cut the showtime by 30% recently.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.